Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Let me EQ some audio here. We gotta get this stuff straightened out. It's insane up in here. Hello. I hope you are doing fantastic this morning. Welcome to another episode of Caffeinate. If you're watching later on YouTube and or on the VOD on Twitch, thank you for taking the time to check out this brand new show that I've been doing for about a week now or so. We're coming up close to a week. To be honest, I'm incredibly surprised that I've only missed an episode by an hour, which is fairly impressive for me, I would say. We normally do this at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but at the time of this recording, I'm actually doing it at around 7 o'clock on the dot. So actually, it's not in fact around, it's actually on. So yeah. That's what we do. Anyways, this is a morning show that centers around gaming news, any kind of nerdy news that you need to know, as they do tend to say, and it's a great way to start off your day if you're looking for a brand new way to check out what we've got going on the internet while you get ready for your breakfast, you're getting ready to put on your clothes and go to school, or perhaps you live in a nudist colony and you just go ahead and you go and you learn in nothing. No clothes for you. We'll see what happens. Decky, hello. I was wondering where you were. Yeah, I made an announcement on Twitter. It was late last night, but it is what it is. Anyways, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items to go ahead and give the rundown today. One of which is incredibly disappointing. I mean, I'm just saying, nudist colony, there's always a possibility. One of which is really disappointing. The others are very interesting. So we'll go ahead and get the bad news out of the way first, and that is the fact that renowned physicist Stephen Hawking has passed away at the age of 76. World-renowned physicist Stephen Hawking has died at the age of 76. He died peacefully at his home in Cambridge in the early hours of Wednesday, his family said. The British scientist was famed for his work with black holes and relativity and wrote several popular science books, including A Brief History of Time. At the age of 22, Professor Hawking was given only a few years to live after being diagnosed with a rare form of motor neuron disease. You can read his obituary here, a Life in Pictures reaction to his death. The illness left him in a wheelchair and largely unable to speak except through a voice synthesizer. In a statement, his children Lucy, Robert, and Tim said, "We are deeply saddened that our beloved father passed away today. He was a great scientist and an extraordinary man whose work and legacy will live on for many years." They praised his courage and persistence and said his brilliance and humor inspired people across the world. He once said, "It would not be much of a universe if it wasn't home to people you love. We will miss him forever." That was a very nice statement. A book of condolences is due to be opened at Gonville and Caius College in Cambridge, where Professor Hawking was a fellow. So there's a picture of him later on in his life. I'm not sure how recent that is, but of course, I'm not really sure of the health, the level of health that he had right before he passed away. But when it comes down to it, he had an absolutely incredible life. This man, as I tweeted earlier, was essentially on the same level as Aristotle. He was on the same level as people like Leonardo da Vinci. He was on the same level as Einstein, Mendeleev. So many amazing scientists rival Stephen Hawking, and Stephen Hawking rivals so many scientists, that to be alive alongside the time that he was alive is something that's going to be looked back upon as I was alive whenever Einstein was alive. I was alive during the invention of the atom bomb, things along those lines. It's just amazing stuff like that that you live alongside. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he got the disease at age 22, so at what age did he have children? A bit early for Western standards. I believe that he had children after he got the disease. No, it's a fine question to ask, but I didn't know he had children actually before this story broke and I was reading his obituary. I had no idea. I suppose you could give it Google. But when it comes down to it, the man was absolutely amazing. He lived an extraordinary life. He was mind-bogglingly successful in terms of pretty much every way, shape, and form that you can be successful in a modern-day society. As a scientist, he broke new ground. He made a theoretical hypothesis around time travel, if I'm to be understood. Now, let me just. I know literally nothing about science. I am not a scientist whatsoever. I'm a man sitting in a tie at 7 o'clock talking about video games and nerdy news. If you told me to explain black holes and time travel, you've got me, man. No idea. With that being said, this man could do it. This man knew what was going on. And so a loss of this caliber is something that is going to be reverberating through the scientific community for many, many years to come. But 76, after being diagnosed at age 22 with a disease that should have gone ahead and did him in about 2 years. Pretty impressive run, I would say. So rest in peace to Stephen Hawking. Did an amazing job of living his life to the fullest and really pushing the boundaries of what was possible in the scientific community. Moving along to news that is less dire and less serious, I would say. Twitch is giving Prime subscribers free PC games every single month. Free Games with Prime kicks off on March the 15th, which is, at the time of recording this video and this episode of Caffeinate, again, shameless plug, live on twitch.tv/thesamuelitems every morning at 6 a.m., sometimes 7. We have a ton of games coming with this. Twitch is expanding the number of freebies it's giving to Twitch Prime subscribers every single month. The company announced a new initiative today called Free Games with Prime. Sounds a whole lot like Free Games with Gold that's offered through Xbox, which does exactly what it says. It gives members free games as part of their Prime subscription. Twitch is already handing out free stuff to Twitch Prime members in the form of in-game ads, ad-free viewing, channel subscriptions, and the occasional game. Starting this Thursday, March 15th, Twitch will offer a monthly selection of PC games for free. In March, Twitch Prime subscribers will get Super Hot, a really fantastic game. Shadow Tactics, another really impressive game that I've been looking forward to playing. Sorry about the picture of Nick Cage, but actually, you know, I'm not really that sorry about it. It's a pretty good picture. He was even sporting enough to be on The Big Bang Theory. I know, it's amazing. He was such a unique individual in his comedy and his humor as well. But we get Super Hot, Shadow Tactics, Tales from Candlekeep, never heard of that one. Oxenfree, I've heard of that one, and Mr. Shifty, a game that I was going to be getting on the Switch, but I never got around to it, so I suppose I'll be playing it on PC now. But next month, Free Games with Prime will offer Tales from the Borderlands, SteamWorld Dig 2, a pretty recent game that I've been looking forward to playing, Kingsway, Tokyo 42, and Dub Wars. Now, the next month, a little bit iffy. The launch month, fantastic. Nick Cage as Superman, yes, that's going to be amazing. But surely he'd do better than Tommy Wiseau. I mean, I don't know, man. According to a post on the company's blog, Twitch Prime subscribers can keep those games forever, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I do want to say that for those of you who do not have Twitch Prime, and that you spend a lot of time on Twitch, it is an amazing investment. First off, it's bundled in with Amazon Prime, and if you don't have Amazon Prime, my lord, you got to get on that stuff. It essentially bundles in services that are similar in nature to Netflix, Spotify. You have online cloud saving. You also have free 2-day shipping on all Amazon Prime items, sometimes free 1-day shipping, occasionally free 2-hour shipping through Prime Now. It's amazing. Hello, how are you? Ramsey, I believe, is that how we decided to pronounce this? I'm so sorry, but I hope you were doing well. I'm doing fantastic. But there are so many benefits to Amazon Prime, and then on top of that, you also have Twitch Prime. You'll have to apologize. I apologize. You have to tell me how to say your name. I'm so sorry. But yes, so Twitch Prime gives you a free sub every month to any channel that you would like, many of which have been used on my channel, which is amazing. If you choose to do that, I would love you for that. If you do want to go ahead and support me in that way, shape, or form, you never have to do that. But also you get free games. Razum is fine. There we go. Cool. I'm assuming that's the correct. I'm so sorry. I always say Ramses. Ramses from what you call it? That movie. Nacho Libre. There you go. But yeah, Twitch Prime is fantastic. Get a free sub, get some free games occasionally, get some free in-game, God, I'm gonna say it, swag. Ugh, that hurts me. But you get some free in-game swag if you do choose to do that, and essentially there are a lot of benefits. This just goes ahead and raises that bar and that level of quality that is expected from the service, which is fantastic. Now, the only thing I can say is that already I'm seeing a bit of a downgrade to some degree. Of course, whenever you're starting off a new part of a service, then you're going to have to really offer some pretty good, you know, games for free. And I mean, with Super Hot, Shadow Tactics, Tales from Candlekeep, never heard of, but Oxenfree and Mr. Shifty, those are some amazing titles. Now, the next month, Tales from the Borderlands, 100% sounds good. SteamWorld Dig 2 is another amazing game. Kingsway, never heard of. Tokyo 42, I have heard of. It's an interesting little puzzler kind of thing, if I remember correctly. And Dub Wars, so we'll see how this goes. But when it comes to comparing directly between Amazon's Twitch Prime, Xbox Live, and PlayStation Plus, these are relatively comparable games. I mean, there are some really bad months with PlayStation Plus, there are some really good months with PlayStation Plus, and the same can go and be said for Xbox Live. But Twitch Prime is really doing fairly well considering what you're getting for your money. Whenever you have Amazon Prime, when you have the free sub, whenever you have free 2-day shipping, all of that good stuff that is included with the Amazon Prime, you can't really go wrong. $99 annually or $12.99 monthly. There's actually a student discount where I believe I get it for $50 because I'm in college. I love how I keep hovering over this and it just keeps popping up. But if you are a student in college, you can get a huge discount on Amazon Prime, which is including with Twitch Prime. I see no reason why you shouldn't. It's better than investing in buying a brand new game. And I'm saying that upright, straight out. It's better than buying a brand new game. You get so much more for your money, especially whenever you have so many games like this included for free. So to see this new initiative coming forward and to see Twitch giving out some free games, thanks to Amazon, that's going to be some cool stuff to see evolve going forward, and I'm going to be interested to see what kind of games are going to be included in the service as it continues to, like I said, shape itself and evolve over time. So look forward to that starting tomorrow, and then another wave rolling out next month. And I believe there was a graphic, actually, that's similar to the same, the PlayStation Plus kind of lineup. But this is the March lineup. Super Hot, Oxenfree, Mr. Shifty, Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, and Tomb of Annihilation. That'll be pretty fun. But yeah, so we'll see what happens next month. With that being said, moving along, listing for Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell 2018 has been spotted in the wild, ladies and gentlemen. Has the new Splinter Cell game had the green light? A listing for Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell 2018 has popped up over on Amazon's Canadian website, although the product is listed as quote-unquote currently unavailable and has no information on the release date or platforms. A Redditor spotted the product page, which hasn't been taken down at the time of writing. Let's see if it's still up. I don't know. Can't see if it's still up. Dang. Plus, giving you the chance to do a free sub every month with Twitch Prime. Yeah, it's fantastic. Twitch Prime is amazing. It's fantastic. I mean, it's allowed me to sub to channels that I normally wouldn't be able to support, or I normally wouldn't have been able to support, thanks to the subscription that I have. But a Redditor spotted the product page, which hasn't been taken down at the time of writing. There is no box art, and it's likely that the 2018 title is just a placeholder name. As with all placeholder listings, it is entirely possible that this is a speculative entry by Amazon itself, which may have no knowledge of the game. Why would they do that, though? Why would they put in a game that they have no knowledge of existing? The last Splinter Cell title released was 2013's Blacklist. During last year's E3, Ubisoft Montreal CEO Yannis Malad, I believe is how you say that, probably butchered that name beyond recognition, talked about revisiting some of their older franchises, saying that the company is quote-unquote not forgetting Splinter Cell, but that Ubisoft has a ton on our plate at the moment. At the time, Malad stressed the importance of consumer demand for IPs. There is a question of does it make sense, is there a market, but it's open for the creatives to propose something. Back in 2016, NeoGAF user Crossing Eden claimed to have insider knowledge, saying that Michael Ironside will be stepping into the role of Sam Fisher once more for a brand new game. Regarding other games, I haven't been involved with Steeper Wildlands, but I was surprised Splinter Cell didn't appear at E3. I know Ironside is back. He was in the studio. I said hi to him and his daughter. He was shooting a movie with Amy Jo Johnson. Who the hell was Amy Jo Johnson? It sounds so familiar. And I know someone who worked on that set, and Ironside confirmed to him he was doing the new Splinter Cell. So essentially, the story here is that it looks like this coming E3, we're going to be getting a brand new Splinter Cell game, or some kind of announcement, which should be Splinter Cell 2018 if this listing is going to be accurate. Of course, that's not going to be the title. I can't imagine that being the title, but it's good to see this game coming back. Also, that's a fantastic rendition of Mace Windu. It's good to see Splinter Cell coming back into the limelight. I've always enjoyed a good Splinter Cell game. I believe Splinter Cell, let's see, which one was it? Which one did I like the most? Splinter Cell, which one was the one that I spent the most time in? I think this is the one that I spent the most time in. Conviction is the one that I really enjoyed back in the day. Played that on the PlayStation 3, or maybe it was the Xbox 360, one of the two. Amy Jo Johnson is an American-Canadian singer and actress best known for her roles in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, That's Where I Knew Her, Felicity, The Division, and Flashpoint. Johnson came to prominence in the early 1990s as the original Power Ranger cast. Sounds good, man. But yeah, to see Splinter Cell coming back is going to be fantastic. To see it coming back in the kind of setting and the kind of gaming atmosphere that we have now is going to be interesting, because I feel like the franchise is going to have to kind of evolve and change, because stealth is still a value that is valued, but it seems like there is a higher highlight or a higher level of expectation when it comes to action, fast-paced nature of the game. Whenever you have stuff like Battle Royale, where it's very high octane and there's a lot of testosterone flowing, so to speak, it's going to be a unique twist to see if they try and incorporate some of these more high-octane elements into Splinter Cell, or if they're going to go ahead and stick to their roots. Personally, I don't think they're going to be trying anything shifty here. I think that everybody knows what Splinter Cell is. I feel like you know what it is going into it when you purchase the game. And so, with all of this being taken into account, I feel like people know what they're signing up for. Metal Gear Survive ditched stealth, did it not? I mean, you're not wrong, but we see how that turned out for that, didn't it? So we'll have to see what happens with Splinter Cell. Definitely something to keep an eye on for E3, which brings me to one of the main points I did want to make with this story. We're going to be doing some E3 coverage right here on the channel, as we always do every single year, but it's going to be more live content than it was in years past, which is something that's going to be very exciting. Is Hitman still around? Yes. Hitman is still around. I believe that the most recent Hitman game had gotten a ton of expansions, and I think that the studio was sold, but I feel like the expansions are still coming out. Something along those lines. There might be a Stealth Void. There may be. Speaking of which, a good game that it always stands out over here whenever you said that. Dark Void was a very unique game that I don't think got enough recognition. It was simplistic. It was not a great game by any means, but it was a pretty interesting title, I must say. So if you're looking for something to play on the Xbox 360 that you can probably get for about 27 cents, Dark Void is a high quality one, or at least high quality as far as 28 cents goes. Anyways, Splinter Cell 2018 going to be exciting. Keep an eye on that at E3. And moving along, Ghost Recon Future Soldier and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD are now backwards compatible on the Xbox One. Exciting stuff here. Let's go ahead and give it a little clickaroo and see what Joey Thurmond has to say. The next batch of Xbox One's backwards compatible library have been announced. Xbox Live's Director of Programming Larry Major Nelson Herb has announced that 3 games will be following Mafia 2 and Prey's Inception into the collection. Get ready for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD Edition, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier, and the Xbox Live Arcade indie title Axel and Pixel. We can go ahead and drop that one off the end right there. We need to focus right here on Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and the other one are coming out today. So you can play these right now through backwards compatibility on your Xbox One, which is one of the best features of the console that it actually has. I must admit that it's tempting to go back and buy an Xbox One because of the fact that they've introduced backwards compatibility, and there are so many amazing games out for the Xbox 360 that weren't able to be played back at the beginning of the generation. But thanks to some fantastic engineers over there at Xbox, we now have the access and the ability to do that. When it comes to which one would I play first, I loved Future Soldier. I thought that it was a fantastic game. I thought that it did so many things right that it's kind of a crime if you don't go back and play it at one point or another. I think that it's totally worth going back and checking out. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD is one of the fan favorites, as far as I can gather, of the Metal Gear Solid franchise. People loved Peace Walker because it filled in a lot of gaps. It filled in a lot of gaps. And to see it coming to the Xbox One in the form of a backwards compatibility edition, I mean, I can't complain about that. It's just more game that you can play on your Xbox One. Backwards compatibility should be something every console should have. 100% agree with that, my dude. Especially with the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 3, and even the PlayStation 2 have so many innovative and unique games that are going to be lost to history simply because the newest consoles aren't backwards compatible. I feel like with the PlayStation 4 Pro having come out a couple of years ago, that's a feature that should have been included on that console. That's what should have happened, because the Pro model, it seems, should have brought more to the table than just upping the resolution and upping the frame rate for certain games, if developers do choose to take advantage of that. To have backwards compatibility adds a new level of value to your console, I think. It's more bang for your buck, like I've always been saying. If you buy an Xbox One, you essentially have an Xbox 360, which is something that not every console can say. If you buy a PlayStation 4, you don't have a PlayStation 3, so to speak. And so I would love to see more consoles do that in the future, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Season 1 of the new Hitman is the latest Hitman game at the moment. Sounds like more seasons are going to come out sooner or later. Yeah, I believe there was some DLC for, the Season 1 where it included a ton of new missions and, like, assignments and things like that. I don't know. I didn't really play the new Hitman. But I know that the studio was sold, so we'll have to see what happens. I know that the company that is behind it said that they were still going to be working on the game and bringing out new content. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. But for those that want a little puzzle/strategy game, Hitman Go, fantastic title on the Vita. I believe it's on the mobile platforms as well, like iOS and Android. And then I believe there's also a version of it on Steam. Great little game, though. I want to play all the Persona games, damn it. I mean, you could, dude. You could if you went back and you bought a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3, a PlayStation Vita, and a PS4. There you go. That's all you got to do, man. That's all you got to do. On that college budget, you can do that 100%. But for those that want to play Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD Edition and Axel and Pixel, of course, on top of Future Soldier, which is just, over there to the side, then you can play those today on the Xbox One via backwards compatibility. Pretty cool stuff. Moving along. Super Mario Cereal now for sale without the Amiibo functionality. Yeah, that's all. Just a couple of consoles, man, and the Vita. Which sort of counts as a console. Anyways, Yum? I like this. I like this a lot. Earlier this year, Nintendo debuted a special Super Mario cereal line, which featured a red box and Amiibo support. Said Amiibo support was by way of chip inside the box, and when scanned, registered as a quote-unquote tasty Amiibo, and granted Mario Odyssey players extra coins and hearts. It was really tough to find at first, but eventually started saturating the market, even appearing on Amazon Pantry, but the ship may have sailed, according to one Redditor's finds. Now it seems like the exact same cereal is hitting shelves without the Amiibo chip, simply labeled as the same Super Mario cereal line. We've reached out to Nintendo for more information, but for now, consider picking up the red Amiibo box if you still need it. New Amiibo-less Super Mario cereal box is now found here on Reddit. So essentially, what was going on with this is that you could literally swipe your little cereal box across your Amiibo reader on your Switch or Wii U. I assume it worked with both consoles, and you would get a couple of in-game bonuses for Super Mario Odyssey. That's a cool idea, it was a neat little concept, and I thought that it was really a novelty way to market the newest game by selling children's cereal, which of course many adults bought, and I would have bought it if I had been interested in it at one point or another. But to see them taking away the Amiibo functionality, that's just kind of a no-brainer as far as sales go, because it probably costs more to make the box with the Amiibo functionality, and with Mario Odyssey kind of dropping off from the limelight and not being quite so in the spotlight for gamers overall, then it's going to be one of those things where that investment doesn't make sense in the long run. And so you have to kind of change your tactics, you have to change the way that you approach some certain things, and to take away that Amiibo functionality is just the natural evolution of this entire thing. Give money and encourage diabetes. Good job, Nintendo. Hey, but children's cereals have been a foundational point of marketing for companies for many, many years in the past. I mean, growing up, my dad would eat Frosted Flakes or any kind of Honey Smacks or stuff like that. I'm not sure what people have internationally, but these were brands of cereal that were often associated with brands like, or franchises like Spider-Man, with Batman. Lucky Charms was a huge thing back in the day, which had these cartoon mascots that were appealing to the younger audiences. And so it was really an influential factor of life whenever you had these cereals coming out that were associated with famous characters that you enjoyed. Saturday morning, you sit in front of the TV, you eat your cereal, you go outside and play. It's a great little setup. Yo, King Popper, what's happening, man? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Started up a brand new morning show called Caffeinate, which you're watching right now, and will be later live, or not live, pre-recorded and uploaded to YouTube and whatnot. Decky gonna run off and have dinner now. Be lurking? No worries, dude. Have a good dinner. But yeah, cereal is a major part of American society, I would say. It's a major part of what we do as a nation whenever it comes to the breakfast choices that we make. And so to see Nintendo getting in on it to begin with is a fantastic little thing. But to see them changing and taking out that Amiibo functionality from the box, that's nothing to be surprised by. That's nothing shocking whatsoever. It is what it is. But yeah, so if you want to check out the Super Mario cereal, I would check it out pretty soon if you want that Amiibo functionality, if you can find it. But if not, then you can try this cereal, which quite frankly, if this is to be believed, pretty much looks like if you mixed Cheerios with some marshmallows, and that doesn't sound that appealing to me. That does not sound that appealing to me, to be honest. So yeah, I'm probably gonna dip on that one. Now, this next story is one that is incredibly interesting to me as somebody who loves gaming peripherals, as somebody who loves talking about mics, talking about keyboards, talking about custom mics and speakers. We have Razer on Twitter asking Real Talk, how do you like your gaming monitors? Gotta be matte or rockin' the gloss? And I voted gotta be matte, of course. You can follow me on Twitter at PrettyChillGuy if you do not already, to keep up to date with my opinions of the stream, things I retweet, good stuff, good stuff. But this is not a question that is just asked, you know? This is not a question that is just thrown out there and it's like, hey, how do you guys prefer your monitors? Just wondering, you know, through the course of the day, we're just trying to gauge people's interest on things. They are literally going to be making a monitor if I had to guess. And I would say that it's going to be 240 hertz. I'm just going ahead and throwing that out there because it seems like refresh rate is what Razer puts the value on. It seems like Razer puts the value not so much on the resolution of something, but more so on the refresh rate, the quality of the image, the way that it can be used professionally, etc., etc. And so it seems like I'm betting it's going to be a 1920 by 1080 or maybe even 1440p monitor that runs at 240 hertz. That's just my prediction. Now, of course, Razer has had some pretty awesome projects over the course of the past year or so, and I wanted to go ahead and give these a rundown. Really good stuff, I would say. Of course, you've got your laptops, the Razer laptops that are relatively overpriced, in my opinion, and underpowered, in my opinion, for the price. Again, just making it very clear, in my opinion. But you also have things, I don't want to sign up for your thing. You also have things like this mobile phone, the Razer phone, where you literally have a phone that has 120 hertz refresh rate on the screen itself as compared to the normal 60 hertz like you would get from any kind of iPhone to my knowledge, any kind of Samsung Galaxy S7 to my knowledge, or S8 to my knowledge. So, yeah, you can buy the case, you can buy all this stuff. They've got these earbuds, things along these lines. That's a pretty cool idea. You know, it's pretty sweet. Headsets, audio, and broadcaster. You have them making headsets, which is not anything new. Like I said, some other stuff right here. But I want to get down to these speakers. Where are these speakers at? This right here, Razer Namo Pro. I believe it's how you say that, Namo, whatever the hell it is. They have a new line of speakers, along with the Leviathan Mini and the Leviathan. But Razer's really branching out here, and they also have this Razer Kaio camera, and along with a couple of two Razer Siren mics. Overall, the quality of the products, the build quality is fantastic. The mic quality is okay at best, I would say. Razer has never been known, in my opinion, for making the highest quality of accessories and things like this, peripherals, etc. Now, if you want to prove me wrong, Razer, if you want to prove me wrong, I'm just saying, I'm open to you reaching out to me and saying, hey man, try out our products, compare them to what you're using right now. Let's see what you got, man. Let's see how we can do in comparison to what you have right now. Am I begging for free things from a company to change the way that I'm talking about them? Absolutely. Yes. I mean, yeah. Yeah. But, no, I'm just messing. These are all very cool products, but to see them talking about making a monitor is something that's very interesting, especially considering the setup that we've got right now with monitors, in the fact that everybody's branching out to ultra-wide, everybody's branching out to really high resolutions. It's going to be a really interesting way to see how they enter into the market and see what they've got going on when it comes to what they have up their sleeve. And will it be curved? Will it be ultra-wide? Will it be super high-res 8K monitor? Oh, that would be amazing. Probably not, but we'll have to just wait and see. And moving along to the final story that we have today, Fallout 4 modders cancel Fallout 3 recreation copyright. Copyright never changes. This is written by Steve Watts, March 13th, 6:31 p.m. My man's working late. My dude. The Capital Wasteland project, a fan project that was attempting to recreate Fallout 3 inside the framework of Fallout 4, has been canceled. The creator says that discussions with Bethesda made them realize that their plan was treading on treacherous legal ground, forcing them to call it off. The project leader, NafNaf95, the project leader, quote-unquote, NafNaf95 shared a statement on Twitter via Eurogamer explaining the decision. Recently, we communicated with Bethesda regarding our planned method to implement the voice acting and other audio from Fallout 3 into the Capital Wasteland. During this conversation, it became clear our planned approach would raise serious red flags that we had unfortunately not foreseen. The letter goes on to state that the team attempted shifting its methods in various ways, including re-recording dialogue or requiring Fallout 3 to be owned in conjunction with an audio extractor. Ultimately, though, the team came to the conclusion that there was no legal way that they could continue the project as envisioned. The dialogue that was performed by the likes of Liam Neeson and Ron Perlman was seen as too crucial to the experience, so re-recording it with fan actors was dubbed a non-starter. In a more personal matter, the project head says that if the team were to continue the project, he would personally be held liable for any copyright infringement or piracy claims. Projects like this have always existed in a gray area of law, the letter read. If at any point in the future it becomes fully legal for us to continue working on the blessing of Bethesda, with the blessing of Bethesda and ZeniMax, we will. This is an incredibly unfortunate circumstance. It really, truly is. Because this fan recreation, this is some alpha gameplay of it. And I must admit that, I mean, it's simply Fallout 3 and the Fallout 4 engine, and it looked great. You know, when it comes down to what exactly it had going for it, it was a beautiful recreation of the game that fans loved. I mean, obviously, Fallout 4 is Fallout 4. It is what it is. It's way better looking than Fallout 3. And so to see it canceled is bad on that end, but also on top of that, it seems like these fan recreations and the people that really pour themselves into the games that they love, these are the people that get hired onto the gaming industry. These are the people that get hired onto new development teams of things like Fallout 5 or Fallout 6, whatever might be in development, the next sequel to something like New Vegas. This is where you really look for those that are worthy of that kind of a time investment, that kind of training. And so I would love to see the creators of this idea, this concept, maybe be hired on to make a Fallout 3 remastered. Maybe they'll be hired on to work, like I said, on the next kind of game, even if it is something like Dishonored 3 or something along those lines. If you make... That's terrifying. If you make something like this... What the hell was that? That was so scary. If you make something like this, then you 100% are worthy of that. So I feel like, in my opinion, Bethesda should definitely reach out to NafNaf95 and say, yo, NafNaf, in, my man, bring it in, let's talk. We need to plan out your future here at Bethesda, because it's clear that you love Fallout 3. It's clear that you have a vision for the experience overall, and so to be able to talk with you on that and to be able to figure out where you fit in with our company, that would be fantastic. That's the kind of conversation I want to be reading about in 6 to 8 months. Will that happen? More than likely not. More than likely not. But to have something like this even exist would be fantastic. I know that fans would love to have a recreation of Fallout 3. I remember back in the day whenever I was watching, I think it was E3 coverage on G4 TV. I was watching Adam Sessler and Kevin Pereira, I believe, from The Attack. It may have been Morgan Webb, but that's all beside the point. I remember watching them talk about Fallout 3 and how amazing it was, and I was watching the gameplay, and it truly was mind-blowing back in the day to see what Fallout 3 was capable of. I'd love for Nintendo to not be tightwads and let fans make their own Pokemon games. Exactly. Fan recreations are part of the fabric of what makes a franchise popular. Fan interaction. It would be like if I recorded this entire episode of this show and I didn't talk to anyone in chat. Do you know how strange that would be? I mean, I am recording it and doing an upload style thing later, but that's why I put the chat on the screen so everybody can see what I'm talking about. It's a very, you know, pre-planned kind of thing, and so without that interaction, the entire experience is lesser for it, and that exact same concept applies to stuff like this with Fallout, to stuff like the Pokemon fan remake, to any kind of remake whatsoever. But I would love to see it happen at some point down the line. Will it happen? I can't see it really. If they aren't on board at Bethesda with doing this right now, I can't imagine it being something that would come down the line. Now, will we see a Fallout 3 remastered or a Fallout 3 brought forward to something like the Fallout 4 engine or even the next Fallout's engine? That is always a possibility. I suppose we would have to see how that goes. But as for what's happening right now, I can't really imagine that we will be seeing that anytime soon. And with that, I believe that we wrap up this day's episode of Caffeinate. It's been a bit of a light one, I know, but there was not that much news that I saw aside from the things that we talked about. The highlight of the day, in my opinion, was certainly going to be the level up your video game collection with free games with Prime. I feel like that was the major highlight of the day, so to speak. 2.5D Beat 'em Up Mr. Shifty is going to be one of the games that I'm probably going to be playing on stream because I really wanted to dive into that whenever I got my Switch, but I never got around to buying it because I'm an incredibly, just mind-bogglingly cheap individual. Oh man, it truly is. But yeah, the other stories you can all catch down below in the description box if you're watching later on the VOD on YouTube or Twitch. They will be down there for your convenience if you wanted to peruse them. If I have anything left over that I may have missed, you can hit me up on Twitter at PrettyChillGuy, slide into my DMs on Instagram at Samuel Adams Media, and follow along with my day as well, just to see what I've got going on. Decky says, is X-Play still a thing? Man, you hit a nostalgic nerve of mine. I loved X-Play, I loved G4, I loved Attack of the Show, I loved Cheat, I loved, I loved, what was it called? There's so many shows that I loved back in the day on that channel. But no, unfortunately, G4 was bought out by Spike, I believe. And then it was shut down. It might have gone down differently than that. Hold on. Let's check it out. G4 TV. When did it end? When did it end? Let's see Wikipedia. G4, also known as G4 TV, is a defunct American digital cable satellite television channel owned by G4 Media, a joint venture between NBC Universal Cable, a division of NBC Universal, and Dish Network. It was going to be relaunched as the Esquire Network, and then it eventually just kind of went downhill, which is something that's very unfortunate. I loved that channel so much. It is my childhood. It truly is, just simply, it was my childhood. It was launched in April 24th, or April of 2002, and it was closed in 2014. Gonna miss it, man. I miss it every day. But hey, Kevin Pereira is still making content on twitch.tv/The Attack, one of the hosts of Attack of the Show. Rip Adam Sessler, Morgan Webb. Adam Sessler, actually, he doesn't do too many things now, but he was on Revision 3, and now he's on kind of like a little podcast thing that he does around the internet. You can follow them both. They're still doing stuff. That's kind of the way that I've kept the dream alive in my heart, is going back and following along with how they've been doing their careers. I loved their banter, too. I loved their banter. I loved everything about G4. But I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I usually do a little post show, but I actually have to go to work right after this. So we're going to be back later on tonight playing more Slay the Spire and perhaps some of The Division. Don't quote me on that, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you here tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more of Caffeinate. Until then, I will talk to you soon. Have a beautiful day. Stay beautiful. And thank you for the support and watching the stream/video because you make the dream happen. I'll talk to you soon.